Hello everybody, Hoopla Mafia here. Today I just want to talk about upcoming games and stuff like that. Really, I just really want to just go over what I would like come 2020 for anime games. So, first things first, I want a new Naruto game. I want, and it sounds crazy, but a Bleach game, and possibly Xenoverse 3. So it's gonna be a pretty long video because I'm gonna be going over why I think certain things will happen and why certain things probably will not happen. So to start off first, let's start from the bottom and go to the top. I want to talk about Xenoverse 3 for a sec. So, I think the place where Xenoverse 2 is right now, let's say as a whole community, I feel like the game still has a long way to come till it can have a third game. And the reason I say that because I feel like where they're at right now, in terms of trying to capture some of these modders. Yes, people do mod this game, even on PlayStation, because apparently it's possible now. I've had a handful of ranked matches against actual modders themselves, who only beat me because they had certain abilities on. That's one thing you really can never like get past. You know, people are always going to try changing the game up just for their own benefits. It doesn't really concern me. But that's probably one thing that's really holding them back. Another thing, I feel like Bandai Namco themselves and the studios and other studios that helped develop Xenoverse 2 really didn't learn anything from Xenoverse 1. The hit detection got a little bit better. We could say that. Connections were alright, but it's still around the same part where your opponent's bouncing back and forth, and it's hard to catch up and stuff like that. Now, I will say that the third thing, that what I really did not like coming into Xenoverse 2 was the fact that it was just a copy and paste of an old story mode. Now I feel like I got more of a high out of the DLC than the actual game itself, especially with the Ultra Instinct pack that came out. It was like, wow, okay, this is how he unlocked it in the Xenoverse timeline. And for those of you who don't know, Dragon Ball Xenoverse takes place a completely different storyline. It isn't the Dragon Ball Z, original storyline. It's a completely different universe and all that kind of jazz, which I do like. So I mean, I can kind of see them stepping in a new direction with the Xenoverse timeline, but at the same time, it's like I would already say that other Dragon Ball Z games have already done that, have already gotten into that timeline itself, and they would just be copying it. And that's probably the biggest point that comes to the Xenoverse games. It's the story mode. People play I played the first one and second one just because of the story mode, and the fact that I wanted to keep my own Super Saiyan and all that kind of stuff. And that was really cool to me. But I feel like the third game won't really have a storyline without taking other other content from other games, like I said earlier. So that's really the point I really want to drive. That the reason we probably haven't gotten to Xenoverse 3 is just simply because there is no meat on the bun, on the burger. Sure, you can have all the condiments, the lettuce, the tomatoes, and all the other like small quirks and stuff like that. But without the meat, the actual storyline to really put the game onto, you have nothing. And they really just ran out all their content when it comes to movies and stuff like that. Sure, there's still the manga that's running, but I highly doubt they're gonna take manga content and put it into an anime fighting game. I don't see that happening. Now, if it was already animated on some sort of level, like so the West can see it, because I mean, there are people in the West who read the manga, stuff like that, yeah, but a majority of people just watch anime just to watch it. And finally, I think I'm just going to cut the Xenoverse thing off. I feel like I'm not really part of the community anymore. When the game first came out like 3 years ago, and I was playing seriously like that, I was really part of the community. But I think with me just playing other games after a long amount of time, because it just felt like Xenoverse 2 actually just got too sweaty. I actually did a poll on Jump Force and Xenoverse 2. I said to people, what's worse, a Xenoverse 2 sweat or a Jump Force sweat? And surprisingly, I mean, not a lot of votes, but like surprisingly, it was half and half. Half and half of people said that like it was okay, it was decent. People are sweating on both games, and I feel like the community themselves, they're at a higher level when it comes to like where the game should have been and where they took it, which is fine, but it also makes other people not really want to play the game because it's like, okay, well, they've been playing the game for so long, sure they have the talent and the skills and everything, but I'm just trying to get into it. And when you verse modders and when you have to verse people who are way too strong for you to fight on ranked, it kind of just takes away from the game. You're like, I don't even want to play the game anymore. You start making excuses to why, oh, well, it's not really fun anymore, you know. When I mean, and I'm not personally saying that it's not fun anymore. I'm just saying for the average consumer, the average casual, that's how they're going to look at it. Like, oh, fuck this shit. I don't really care. It's way too hard. Now, continuing on, I want to talk about Storm 4, and really not Storm 4, but the next Naruto game. So the problem with the Naruto games was that, not really a problem, but like, they just ended for no reason. Now, there is no reason why they couldn't have just waited probably like a year or two until Boruto gets his run on, and then it could have just been like Naruto to Boruto, Ninja Storm, Final Storm, whatever you want to call it, instead of I don't find Shinobi Striker to be a problem because I feel like Shinobi Striker could have been a good game. Well, it is a good game, but I feel like they could have gone in a different direction. They could have just copied and pasted the Xenoverse storyline, like, oh well, you graduate Naruto as a Jenny or a Junie, fucking, you know what I mean. You know what I mean. You could have graduated with Naruto as a Geni, excuse me, and then you both could have moved up from there. You could have been on his team as a substitute character, like how they had like Rock Lee in some of the movies. You could have done something like that, and I feel like that would have been perfect. Like it could have been like the same Naruto storyline, just with a CAC, and it could have took a different turn of events. Like when it came to like the Great Ninja War and all that kind of stuff. That's where they should have gone with it. I feel like Naruto as a series has so much content that like I was saying to some of my friends that what they should have done instead of having Boruto at one point was just do a like a a prequel to the game, a prequel to the series. Like have like Hashirama's story up until the final battle with Madara and him. Like they showed a little bit of that in the anime, but like a full like in depth like everything like that would have been straight. That would have been perfect for what they were going for. But I'm not against Shinobi Striker. That's like I said, the only thing they could have changed to Shinobi Striker was just put a storyline into the game. You can't have me creating a Naruto character without any backstory. Oh well, like every single day is a tuning exams. Like that's kind of boring. That's all you do. You play capture the flag. You do death battles. Some of the abilities in the game, and I remember watching a video. Someone was saying that the meta always changes. That's one thing I liked about Shinobi Strikers. But at the same time, it's like, okay, well, there's no permanent meta for me to be good, and that helps other people. That's cool, but I kind of want to use my abilities that I already have on. I don't feel like having to put on a different ability every time there's a revamp. So that's one. Now, in terms of getting like a, how should I put it? Like a different type of fighting style Naruto game, I'm kind of on the edge because I just want another Storm game. I feel like a lot of people just want another Storm game. But if we were to get a Fighter Z or even like a Guilty Gear or something like that, that would be fine. But I feel like that's not meant for Naruto. I feel like Naruto has always been an arena fighter, just like it just came out like that. It's always how it's been. That's how it should be. You know, don't change it. Don't change it just because you know, new people want new things. Keep the same thing you've been doing for years. Have different abilities, have a different fighting mechanics, but just keep the same arena fire style. Like I feel like in Revolutions, I preferred Revolutions a little bit more than actually Storm 4, just because Revolutions it played different because there was a lot of like, okay, well this team, if you build this team, they can seal your opponent's wake up gauge and everything. Like you could go into Awakening just like that. I feel like Revolutions was very underrated as a series or as a game, but it did the same. It had a lot of like cool game modes you could play with friends. Like there was a game mode where I guess I can't remember like you grabbed some sort of chakra orbs and you had to put them in like a nest and you had to fight characters at the same time, and whoever ran out of chakra lost the battle. And like there was just so much you could really do in that game in a multiplayer standpoint besides just fighting. And I feel like that's where a lot of fighting games need to realize, okay, yeah, fighting's cool, but the thing about fighting games is like once you confirm a meta and everything's like the same, it's like, okay, well, Madara's the best character, Hashirama's the best character. That's all people are gonna play as. Look at Jump Force. I hate comparing games to Jump Force, but look at Jump Force. Jump Force has probably the most permanent meta that's probably gonna have for a long time until we see further DLCs come in the game or fixes like that. You got, if you have a team with Jotaro, Dio, and hell, let's go. I don't know who should be a third, but for sake, fucking. I don't know. You can put whoever you want to put as a third character. Put as a third character. You just have those two characters on your team. You're straight. Oh hell, you got Goku. There you go. We'll choose Goku for sake of conversation. And you have Goku on there. It's a solid team, no matter what. It's just like I just feel like the stands had such a big play into the game because like you're never really hitting Jotaro. You're hitting Star Platinum, who's right in front of Jotaro. So it's like you're phasing through, and Star Platinum always has plus on anything. He always wins in any matchup. Same thing with Dio. Now, and that just really comes down to who's playing as a character. Yes, I understand that, but for the most part, anyone could pick up Jotaro and Dio and be like, "Oh, this is so easy." So I mean, like, then I remember like in the beginning of Jump Force's lifespan. I know I'm talking about Jump Force. I'm sorry, but there was a meta, and it changed 3 times. That was the Rukia support. There was the Piccolo support that's still here, and then everyone just playing as Killua. There was those 3 things, those 3 things, and then it's permanently just on this Jotaro and Dio wave. Like it's been in the beginning, but it wasn't as hot as before. Like I can't name how many times I lost a match just simply because someone used a Star Finger on me multiple times and then went into their ultimate. But I digress about Jump Force. But that's really the point I'm trying to put, that a changing meta is needed, because if you don't change it, it's just gonna happen like everything. It's just gonna fall into Jump Force category. That's how I'm gonna just say it. But sorry for rambling a little bit there, but that's really the point I was just trying to put. I think another Shinobi Striker would not be too bad. Just put some backstory behind it, or hell, maybe another Naruto Revolution type game would be fine. Storm 4, cool too. We're done with that. Now finally, Bleach. Now, a Bleach rumor was put in the mix at the beginning of the month, or maybe a little bit in late September, I want to say, at least around there. And everyone was like, "Oh, word! Cyber Connect 2 is gonna be doing this." Like, and then it was like, "No, we're not really doing it." They confirmed that they're not doing it. They already have another idea of a game they're already making, so that's kind of sad. Weep. Now, but Bleach were to come out, Bleach should be in a Fighter Z format. It shouldn't be in an arena style fighting format. It should be in a fighting format. I feel like a lot of characters have a lot of hacks and abilities that are just too keen to be put into a arena fighter, and I feel like they wouldn't be used properly. I feel like in a fighting game, like an actual fighting game, they can be distributed properly, and which characters can have certain abilities and everything, and it'll be fine. Like, the only reason I really say that is because I feel like an arena style Bleach fighting game would be weird. For one, they don't have any sort of, like, their flash step would be their substitution, I'm guessing. But how would they move? Would they just run to each other? Would they fly to each other? Like I don't remember. Like, how does Ichigo even move in Jump Force? Like when you really got to think about it, it's kind of like a floating, flying motion the way they get to each other, which is kind of weird in a way. Like, I'm not even really concerned about like the storyline or anything. Like, I'm more concerned about the fighting mechanics. Like, if it's going to be like an arena fighter, how it's gonna play Storm 4. But the characters are gonna have like a little floating ability, like in Tenkaichi, how your feet are never on the ground, but you're always floating and swaying back and forth. Now, if it's a fighting style, it's gonna be kind of like it's the Fighter Z. They kind of just hover a little bit and they hit each other like that. So I just feel like the Fighter Z route would be a better choice. Arena fighter, sure, but not really. Now the thing with the plus side with the arena fighter is that just how we have like so many Gokus and like all the Dragon Ball Z games, there's like 30 or 40 variations of him on the roster. How are you gonna do that with like Ichigo? Ichigo has many forms. I want to say about you got the skipping the first arc. We're gonna go with Bankai Ichigo, regular Ichigo with the giant sword, and then you have Hollow Ichigo. You have so many more like smaller miscellaneous forms for him to where he's not in the full Hollow form. You got the full Brain form. You got the final 1,000 Year Blood arc form. You got there's a lot of things you need to put into him for a fighting game. It's like, okay, well, let's just choose one version of Ichigo and just put him in the game. No one's gonna really fuck with that. Personally, like I feel like if I want to play as Fullbring Ichigo, and Fullbring Ichigo had like a probably like 5 minutes in the series when he finally unlocked the Fullbring ability, and that was it. And then it was stolen from him. So I feel like if you put him in an arena fighter, he would be much in an arena fighter. People would be like, oh, word, he plays like this. He's pretty cool. But I feel like if you only give him one Ichigo in the Fire Z category, it'll be like, oh, well, it's just Bleach. Oh, well, I'm not really interested in playing as this Ichigo. What if I want to play as Ichigo from the beginning of the arc? So I feel like there are ups and downs to having an arena fire style fighting game and then having a fighting game, like a Fighter Z fighting game. So I really wanted to sum up the video. Like I said, everything. If you guys agree with me. If you don't, you don't. Dislike the video, like the video. Help me out. I'm almost at 600 subscribers. And if you guys enjoyed today's video, leave a like. Comment below what your thoughts are. I want like a full-on paragraph how you feel about this type of stuff. If you can hear my hands hitting through the mic like this. So I want to hear some good thoughts, some bad thoughts. I want to hear some criticism. I really want to know where people stand on this. Sorry for the video being so long and a little bit of the rambling. It's just that, like, a lot of my thoughts, I've been thinking about making this video for a long time. I was like, oh, I'll make a Bleach video. I'm like, it was confirmed that there's not going to be a Bleach video game. But I still decided to make the video because I feel like the Xenoverse 3 thing it's coming, but it's not here. I feel like the Naruto thing, it's coming because they need to make a Naruto game. It's been way too long. But at the same time, it's just like there's a lot of things in my mind when it came to this. But I'm done. I'll stop right there. Let me know again how y'all feel about it. That's going to be all for right now. Peace, Hoopla Mafia.